Hello everyone, this is gonna be a battle report between Hera and Sitaux. I'm bringing you this cast today because we've had a bunch of discussion. I saw the video from Spirit of the Law regarding the Aztecs and how do they perform in the top level, and we have Hera playing here with Persians and Sitaux playing here with Aztecs. And yeah, let's just see what happens, why Aztec is falling off. I'll explain a couple of aspects in the game and talk about the map in the process. So let's just jump into the game, and this is gonna be the map. And yeah, here comes the I have got StarCraft music in the back, why not? Hopefully my voice is clear enough. And on the top side we have Hera, and on the bottom side we have Sitaux. And Sitaux is going to be playing Aztecs in the red corner. Looking at his map, he has berries in the front, kind of on the hill. Has a choke point with the wood lines on the right side of his map. Gold and wood on the left side. Has an easy wall off. And if I have to make the big walls, I can already see how he would want to do it. But Hera, he has a pretty good map as well. Has a bunch of hills on the left. Pretty easy wall off from this wood line into the edge, and it's gonna be pretty safe. Maybe he wants to get the gold, and if he can scout it, he can wall to the edge of the map using this. While both of them are doing the dark edge, we can actually look at the map in a more detailed way. I've got the map over here, and we can talk a little bit more about how each of the players will wall, what their base will look like. For let's say Sitaux, our original walls are gonna be something like this. Wall this edge, you want to protect this hill, maybe some sort of this wall might be the play. All his wood lines are gonna be kinda in the forward. This is the only defensive one he has, and these are the two closest one, but this one is near gold, so he might want to protect it. The berry is over on this side, and the wood line in the later stages, he has this expansion in the back. For extra golds, there's one extra gold here and second extra gold here, so both of them would want to expand to the right side in the late stages of the map. For Hera, the berry is in the front, so maybe you want to wall like this, wall like this, this, and make your buildings in the front. That way he can fully wall himself. In terms of opening strategies, we might see man-at-arms from the Aztec player, and for Persians you can maybe see straight archers or scouts to counter that. But yeah, this is what I feel the map is going to be divided into, and both of them should be trying to fight. This can be a big castle, and this can be a big castle for them, and same for Sitaux. This can be a castle, this can be a castle. Both of them would probably want to fight for this area, which covers both the golds. The left side is not that eventful. There's a bunch of wood lines. For the relic distribution, this is the one Sitaux can grab, this is one Sitaux can grab, this is the one which is kind of neutral, but Sitaux can still grab because I would say it's closer to him. This is more of a neutral relic, this is more of a Hera's relic. So the relic distribution also looks pretty good, which Aztecs also wants to go for. And we can jump kinda back into the game. Both of them are setting up their dark ages. Sitaux went for the wood line on the left side, has 2 on wood. Both of them are just completing their dark ages. If we check their scouting pattern, Hera has found pretty much everything, has seen the second gold, second stone, but probably does not know about the intersection to the wall on the backside. Getting second boar kinda late. This is not the timing you would want it at, and is messing up his uptime. Sitaux is already up, 18 population, 1 on gold, pushing all the deer, 2 on wood. This might be a straight archer opening. I'll speed it up a little bit. Hera also has pushed all his deers and is moving out across the map. 6 on wood, rest on food under the town center. So far, Sitaux scouting information doesn't really give that much clue into what is happening in the game. Did he run into the town center? That's something I missed, I guess. There's already... I can't see the stats in the game. That's pretty bad. Probably have to... I'll restart it really quickly. The things go basically the same. We can talk a little bit more about Dark Age opening choices and stuff at the same time. Sitaux has already seen the back of his base. His scouting information should be pretty decent as well. Hera is just gonna be pushing all his deer. Where is Sitaux? How did he lose his eagle? Was he garrisoned inside his town center? Looks like it. Is the 18 population up? We didn't really miss much. I'm just speeding through this. Yeah, he was actually inside his town center, and I could not tell because all the stats were going up, adding a barracks, healing up the eagle. The reason you want to put the eagle is to heal it if you took any Dark Age damage. Yes. If you traded HP against the scout or lamed a boar, you would want to do that. Hera is being slightly greedy. He didn't see any movement out of Sitaux, so he was able to skip loom. Skipping loom is something I would not encourage all the beginners to do because of all the potential damage you can take from scouts or man-at-arms or drush or whatever. If you don't exactly know what your opponent is doing, skipping loom might be the worst idea ever. So scouts are tracking the eagle and the archer. The archer should not be able to get any damage. The solo archer usually is there to make them panic or idle something. He moves out in the front, sees Hera has a bunch of scouts, backs away, wants to combine forces with the rest of his army. Spearmen, 2 more archers. So he has 3 eagles, 1 spearman and 4 archers. This is a very scary force versus 3 scouts and 1 skirmisher. And there's the 4th scout. Hera sees what's happening. And for Sitaux, he's kind of just gonna be walling in his wood line because he realizes that Hera might not be able to fight his army in the front. So Hera rotating to his wood line would be pretty bad. All the berry villages are on one side, so even if the scouts come, they can bunch together and take out a lot of HP from scouts. Sometimes you, even with like 3 scouts, you can't engage this 5 villager properly because they're so close to the town center and they're bunched up together, so it's not going to be easy for him to fight that. 3 skirmishers and 4 scouts versus 3 eagles, 4 archers, 1 spearman. I'm actually surprised why he's retreating. I would have assumed the eagles to just jump in, the archers to take free shots on the scouts, but Sitaux is not comfortable taking that fight. Hera probably would not take any damage to his scouts, so he's just gonna keep microing it away, and the skirmishers get to pick off the eagle or take down a lot of HP from the spearmen. A house to make sure that Hera can't run in. A bunch of eagles are being added, so eagles and archers, skirmishers and scouts. Hera just trying to deny whatever he can. This is a guaranteed villager kill or not. The villager went to the hill, to the eagles. Hera decides to back away. The 4 eagles can't be attacked anymore. The 4 scouts are not enough, but 5 scouts and 6 eagles, 6 skirmishers are enough against this. And the +1 armor for the infantry is coming in. +1 armor against infantry is not as useful against skirmishers because you're taking 1 damage to the skirmisher anyway. But against the scout, it lets you tank a couple more hits. No fletching on the archers just yet. Fletching is coming in right now. In terms of the walls, here comes the walls that I was talking about, kind of making his production building in the front, leaving this gap so that he can camp the hill if he needs to defend it. And the backside is unwalled because he can track his opponent's movement. Skirmishers are targeting all the spearmen and then are being targeted against the archers. All the eagles are fighting downhill. The scouts are getting pretty good value. Most of the archers are dead. Skirmishers are mostly alive. 3 eagles should be able to clean these skirmishes, but Hera will just back away and add a couple more scouts to get these kills. While moving away, he's microing down the weak eagles, and Sitaux decides to back away. Sitaux is gonna double down on his eagle production, adding a second barracks, getting forging. He has not scouted what Hera is doing. He's like not even sure if Hera is fully walled or not. This would be a very bad play if Hera was fully walled and was trying to go up to the castle edge. Hera has finally decided to go on gold, adding a couple more scouts on his way up, and wants to go attack. Maybe he's continuing production. He has a lot of army left over. I think the reasoning behind this move is that you took a really good fight and you know you have the numbers advantage in terms of military, so why not add a couple more military on your way up to the castle edge so that you can exploit the weaknesses from the Aztec player. Aztec player also would want to just go up at this moment, has to rush this wall, has scouted it, the scouts are coming in, and decides to leave it open. Lets the scout come in instead of letting the eagle die. The eagle will die anyway and the skirmishers get in. So this is like the bonus damage you can get after feudal age if your army is still alive. Hera is continuing to add scouts on his way up to the next stage. While he's massing the gold he needs to click up to the castle, walling the back side of his base. There's the counter attack. Will he get the walls up in time? He should be looking at the mini map, and he does not get it. These should be 2 dead villagers. Adding a couple more scouts. They are being rallied back to the base. You can see the flag. The villager is being constantly clicked back. This is like the heavy micro you can do to make sure you don't lose villagers. You just spam it back to the town center and it ignores the block command from your opponents. 4 eagles are gonna be pretty annoying. Sitaux getting finally some value he needed. He doesn't have wheelbarrow. That probably explains the villager difference. Yeah. So a wheelbarrow costs 3 villagers to be exact. With Persian it might be 2.5 because your Persian town centers work 5% faster, 10% faster in feudal age. Never mind. So yeah, it's more like 2.5 wills for a wheelbarrow timing. Sitaux is up, and Hera should also be clicking up at the same time. The Persian faster 10% working town center will maybe allow him to click up around the same time. The right side is not walled yet, but the front has been walled. Has a vision on most of the resources that can be harassed. The gold mine has finally been cleaned up. Most of the skirmishes on the scouts died. The second stable is being added by Hera. Playing light cav, and knights might be the play. Light cav because you know Aztec wants to go for lots of mana towns. Eagles are hiding in the back. So he was looking for them. Had the secondary force patrolling, cutting off the escape route for the eagles, even if they decided to sneak past, but they were just hiding in the oasis in the back. Next step of the game is gonna be booming while defending. He is not selling any of his resources, so he has enough stuff to make a town center. Meanwhile, Sitaux has 10 on wood and everything else on gold and food. 16 on gold, 16 on food. Gonna be 4 barrack eagle production versus double stable light cav play for now. Maybe a couple of knights being added in. A second town center almost immediately being added. Opening up the gap, not really something you want to do against the eagle pressure. a siege workshop to hold the hill. Maybe he wants to add scorpions. Both of them are waiting for their upgrades. Eagle is 55, 56, 57, 60% done. The light cav was already in. Hera decides to fight before the Eagle Warrior upgrade comes in. And this is a pretty good fight for him. He takes out most of the numbers before the Eagle upgrade comes in. Manages to escape from whatever is left. Lost like 3 scouts, 3 light cav against, I would say that was 3 eagles. It's better value. And you can add monks to heal these light cav back up. Knights are being added, couple more light cav are also being added. Still leaves the gap on this area open. Here comes the knights and has added a mangonel. Mangonel is a weird choice, honestly, for me. Maybe he wants to get a couple of ground attacks on those eagles. And this is dangerous because the eagles are snowballing. Spearmen are being mixed, the monks are being made. Monks are like still standing near Sitau's gold mine because he was concerned about counterattacks. But so far there's nothing happening over here. Maybe cavalry in the front and mangonel in the back to fight against the eagle mass might be the play. But making mangonels against infantry is not something which is common. A third town center is being added. Hera is starting to take the boom lead because Sitaux is still playing one town center all in, making a lot of eagles. No second armor just yet. 4 barracks continuous production while making monks. His macro looks pretty gold heavy. He has 30 on gold, 9 on food, 10 on wood, 11 on wood. Hera's macro is looking a little bit better, floating a bunch of food he can use to make town centers and make villages out of them. Light cav are being healed up. I think the mangonel is just there to soften up the eagles, because if they are bunched up together like this and you get like a couple of good ground attack shots on them, once they get near your cavalry you lose everything. So yeah, it's like a good way of deterring a straight up engagement. You can just camp the hill with mangonels and it's gonna be very difficult for your opponent to counter you. Picking up the relics. Yeah, but this is the issue. You can't leave it vulnerable. It's so easy to pick off. You can use it to camp, but you can't use it to push against infantry, I would say. Still just holding the hill. Sitaux is being very careful about this engagement. But Hera is just getting really far ahead in this boom. Already has a 20 village lead, but he's playing against an army composition which is very hard for a civilization like Persian to deal with. The spearmen are being split. The mangonel in the back, pushing away the main army. Light cav are being brought in the front. The monk is being instantly targeted and picked off. All this is doing is buying time for Hera, since he's the one who's booming. For Sitaux, he has to continue the push and make sure he can do some damage with the army he has. His army is better than Hera's, but the issue is Hera's just camping and has a massive boom behind all of this. I would say Sitaux should be able to realize that and is changing the area of attack. He knows he can't really push this hill, so he's gonna switch the place of attack. There's a bunch of knights, but Sitaux has spikes and eagles. I don't know how this fight will go, but it should not be really good for Hera. He's kind of playing against the counter army, but the mangonels in the back are chasing. There's the hill. Hera cuts off the escape path, gets on top of the hill, destroys the eagles in the front, and the pikes in the back are no match for the knights which are left over. The fight actually kind of was close, but Sitaux had more units in that fight. Hera had better quality units. So yeah, you can see why Aztec, if they can't snowball you in the early game, kind of fall flat. Even if you play like a lot of knights, you can start destroying even the mass eagle play. Light cav on the front, and Hera's gonna attempt to get a castle in the forward. This castle is kind of neutral, not really that aggressive, but it's not that defensive either. There's a lot of monks and pikes and stuff. Gets the conversion. Don't think Hera was expecting this amount of monks and pikes and eagles still to be on the field. He just took a really good fight. Here comes the redemption monks. They have a lot of hit points. Sitaux still playing one town center, trying to produce out of 5 barracks and double monastery. The castle should go up. And I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I think there's a 40 villager difference. Hera has taken a massive boom lead over Sitaux. Manages to click up because he needed just the defensive castle and he's gonna be fine. Gets another defensive castle on the left side of the map. The monks are not dying though. Most of the cavalry is getting converted. And this is the stage where the monks have so much hit points. Even if you charge them with full light cav, most of your army is gonna get converted or is gonna die to pikes before you can kill the monks. Sitaux is coming forward with a lot of villages. Looks like it's for a castle. And there comes the castle drop. Hera goes for a counter castle near Sitau's base instead of defending his base. That looks like a bad idea because Sitaux gets a really sick castle in Hera's heart of his economy, but Hera has gotten chemistry, is making hand cannons, has gotten a couple of trebs out, is trebuing down Sitaux at the same time. Like, the logic behind the forward castle is, yeah, you can choose to be aggressive in my base, but if I distract you in your base and do a bunch of counter attack damage, you're not gonna get as much value with your attack. He knew he can defend with trebs and make a couple of hand cannons to hold back any infantry. The monks without their 12 range can't really get the hand cannons. You almost never want to fight the hand cannons against the monks in low numbers. You can just mass a lot of them, and because of their smaller hitbox, they are actually harder to convert. Hera adding a couple of towers to push away the army, and yeah, so far he's managed to defend. Monks are making like a last stand inside the economy. The score difference tells the entire story. Eagles trying to get some rating in, but there's 140 villages, 140 economy. It is getting close to getting maxed out. Hand cannons cleaning up all the raids in his base. Towers to secure the economy. Just has a lot of farms. Light cav hand cannon is gonna be the unit composition of choice. Most of the villages in the front are dying. Double the villager count, double the population. Sitaux just wants to get up to Imperial Age. Maybe he thinks he can make something happen with his Imperial technologies. Or maybe he's not sure about how much economy Hera's playing with. Has managed to click Elite Eagle Warrior, but yeah, he should realize there's not much he can do to stop this. Full Hussar and hand cannon He's just gonna get raided to death. Left side of his base is gone. The back side is getting picked off. The front barely has any farms. He's lost all map control, has no castles. All the castles in the front, just to delay Hera, are gone. But yeah, this is a clear showcase of Hera being very dominant with a C tier civilization like Persians against some people who consider Aztecs to still be the S tier. I would put them at A tier. I would not put them at S tier. They're pretty good, but not as good as they used to be. But yeah, that's all that's gonna be from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you wanna watch more, and that will be it for me.